This is Meri at the Meri Atelier, and I am going to work in my September art journal. This is September 1st. Yeah. All right. This is an unlisted video, but it's a stream. I'm going to go ahead and treat it as a standalone video. I will record it, and if everything's okay, I will let it go live. Before I get started on my September art journal here, I have some happy mail to share. I sent myself a postcard. Yes, I did. This is the postcard. I made these in Aunt Bet's Live, and don't be shy about sending some of your art to yourself. Now, I'm a little disappointed that they got the date on there, August 29th, but they didn't get the city. And I'm not sure if her ink was just running out or what. But I wish I would have gotten where I sent it from. I didn't have a problem writing. That's okay. By sending it, by buying your 37-cent stamp, you kind of date your art. And yeah, that's fun. I'll be putting these in my September art journal. My September art journal is themed postcards and letters. So I might even be writing some letters and sending them to myself. That might be fun. I also got here, let me cover this up, a happy mail. Feels like a pocket letter from Theresa. Is it McKenzie? Theresa McKenzie, look at this. Is that one of those Delusions ladies there? She's so cute. She looks like a sticker. Oh, wow. Oh, that's cool. I'm not sure exactly how she did that, but that's really nice. I like that, Theresa. Theresa was not in my swap group, so this was certainly a happy mail. I might be painting another envelope to return the flavor to you. I think I may have enough extras to make a pocket letter for you too. If you can wait, Theresa, until the middle of September. I'm trying to get them out. I got all my swap partners taken care of, but there are a couple others who wanted to swap with me, so I'm working on those. Let's see what she's done here. I'm hoping that she meant this for me and didn't give it to the wrong person. Okay, look at that beautiful envelope. Always have to check and see because sometimes I leave stuff in there. This will also go in my September art journal. Let's see what she's done. Let's see. She says, Meri, since I had extra sets of ATCs I'm sharing with others in the swap, please open flap on an up and away. I think that you'll get a giggle. Up and away. I think you'll get like this. Aw, laugh till you leak. It makes it funnier. Aw, that's cute. A penny for your thoughts. Oh, Theresa, this is wonderful. Life is hard. Your art shouldn't be. Oh, wow. How cool. And then the second one says, hello, little cute bird. Butterfly, flowers, and owls. Oh, my. Oh, wow, Theresa, these are wonderful. Blue eyes crying in the rain. Oh, up, up, and away. Do your ears hang low? Cute, so cute. I love his ears. Oh, my goodness. And then the last one says, the clouds are lined with silver, as often we are told. I give you this, my heartfelt wish, that yours be lined with gold. Oh, I just love these. Oh, I love these. Theresa, well done. Let's see if I can reach for my booklet here. I will make you a pocket letter, Theresa, to return the swap so that you can fill up your book too. So this is really nice. I will certainly have 10 or 11 of these, maybe even 12 by the time we're done. Oh, and that will fill up this smaller notebook. And I think what I will do is do a cover for it and a spine maybe and do it in ATCs. And this will go in my art journal along with the postcard. So I'll set this over here. Thank you so much. These swaps are so fun to do. So fun. And look at the backs. Look, she put these. Oh, the backs are as unique as the front on all of these. On all of them. They're very unique. I love the bold letters on this one. This is Cheryl's. Just so unique on all of these. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. All right. So, Aunt Beck, thank you so much for hosting that swap. Now, I got some more happy mail, and I think, Suzanne Hale, if you're listening, this might be from you. Let me cut it open here. It says here, but I think I'm not sure exactly where yeah, I guess it's down in here. So let's open it up here. They use these big envelopes to send stuff in. I haven't figured out why yet. Small items. Yeah. If I can get this flap open. I don't know why I'm trying so hard to open it by the flap, but I am. There we go. Alrighty. Let's see what's in here. Oh, some gold Posca pens. Oh, wow. From Amazon. Unite Paint Posca Maker Gold, 2 pens. Oh, wow. Suzanne, if you sent these to me, thank you so very much. And it's so hard for me to see who sends these things. And if this was not Suzanne, thank you to whoever sent these to me. Wow, gold ones. I cannot wait to try these. Maybe I'll try these on my postcard that I'm going to do. Thank you so much. I think these might have come from Suzanne. She said I have 2 more coming. She gave me 4 things for my birthday. She gave me this. She sent me this package of double-sided tape. So useful. She sent me a stamp that I have over here that I might work on this on my postcard too, or on one of them. And now the Posca pens. I think these came from Suzanne, but I get fooled sometimes when I say that. So my September art journal, I still have to bind it. I still need to bind it. So I'm working on it. It got kind of late. Saturday night I did the Marathon, or Friday night, Saturday morning I did the Marathon. And all day Saturday I was just kind of wiped out. I watched Rosemary Morris last night. If you have not found Rosemary Morris, I'll put a link to her channel in the description box below. But she made this awesome junk journal. She did the whole thing in her stream last night. So inspiring. And I watched a couple of other videos, and I fell asleep. So I did not get my journal bound, but it's all put together. I'm just waiting to do the binding on it, and I'll get it done. I'll get it done. I love the cover. The cover is the theme is postcards and letters. So I am going to do a project in September where I do 30 postcards, one a day. And I think what I'm going to do is send them to myself. Now, I have 40 here, and I may cut some others to send to you, but or to give away. I had a postcard giveaway where I gave away 5 postcards in my morning stream and 5 postcards in my evening stream. Oh, no, how did I do that? It was I gave them all away in a morning stream. I gave away 5 postcards to the early risers and 5 postcards to the late risers. That's how it went. So, postcards, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I've been working on painty envelopes for, these are the 2 swaps, the ATC swaps. Now I'm going to have to paint another envelope here. Not in this stream, but I'm going to put together another pocket letter for Theresa. And we'll get those sent out. Maybe next week if I'm lucky. We will see. So I wanted to draw, and I have these watercolors from Petals and Dreams. Meri. I'm pronouncing her name right or wrong, I don't know. But she also sent me a smaller set of watercolors. So, and she sent me a set that has empty pans in addition to the empty pans in here. So I might be filling up these empty pans with watercolors. Wouldn't that be fun? Wouldn't that be fun? So I think, now I did that little... Violet challenged me to do she challenged me to do a hedgehog in Friday night stream. And I had so much fun doing that. And I used this zebra fountain pen. And I'm pretty sure I got this at the Office Max store. And I think I'm going to go back and get some more. I enjoyed sketching with it, and I enjoyed that it was water soluble. Let me zoom in a little, and we'll talk about what I'm going to do here. I'm going to do this postcard. Let me zoom in. Let me get to my camera settings. And let's zoom in so you can see my cursor on my laptop's a little jumpy here this morning. Come on, settle down. Well, I can also use touchscreen. How about that? Let's go in one more. There we go. Now I need to come down. Whoops, wrong way. Wrong way. I never get up, it's down. I don't know why I don't get that. All right, we'll leave it there. So I listened this morning to Library of Congress. If you are not subscribed to the Library of Congress channel, please go subscribe to it. You know, they're Library of Congress. What can I say? I found them because I was looking for public domain photographs, but I subscribed to their channel. But on their channel, they have today they had a segment on David McCullough. Now I'm in a wiki photo here. He has to come in here. David McCullough. A well-known personality, author, historian. He wrote a book, Pioneers, I think is the name of it, his most recent book about the people who settled it in the Northwest Passage after it was purchased. So, and he's just listen to him talk. Fascinating. I'll put a link to his interview. So this is a photograph that is, let me get to the details here. It is in the public domain. This file is licensed under Creative Commons. You are free to share, to copy, distribute, transmit the work, and to remix. Well, I'm just going to, I think I will download it just because sometimes when I sketch, I get, let's see, resolutions. This is 400 by 600. Let's do this one. And let's save the image. And sometimes as I touch my phone, it, come on. Yeah. Is that it? There we go. It gets off. So I am going to sketch this fellow. I was so intrigued in listening to him. And look, the background curtains here. I took the charger off of my phone so I can see this better. The background curtains are this pretty teal green color that I have. And I think this is a dark blue for his tie. What I don't have are the tans of his skin, but I might be able to mix. I think I mixed a little there, some, and maybe mix a little blue with the red and get some brown, hopefully blue with the oranges. So I just want to sketch David McCullough on my postcard, and I'll probably use watercolor. I might have to seal this if I send it through the post office. Now, am I close enough in? I think I need to zoom in one more. Let's zoom in one more for you. I had so much fun sketching that hedgehog that, I like to draw. Drawing is really my strength. Come on, did that go in one? It's not listening to me. I don't like that YouTube controls our cameras. Well, let's see what it is out here. Let's look at this. Maybe I'm just not seeing it on the... I'm not seeing it on my laptop. My laptop, it's still... Okay, let's see. So let's move it over. Let's move it over a little here. I want to move it this way. One. No, the other way. There. Alrighty. Now let's go back to my picture here and let's just sketch him. Now that I've done that, I'm going to turn this whole thing around like this. Maybe put my watercolor up here and my postcard there. Yeah. And move this over just a little so that I have some room to draw him. He's just such a fascinating person. Just very interesting to listen to. Now I'm going to kind of talk my way through this. I would put this into fast forward, but I'm doing an unlisted live stream. So if you're bored at this point, don't go away. Move that little timer bar forward and watch my progress. All right, so here we go. This will be the first postcard that I'm going to do in my stream, in my September art journal. Of course, I'm doing it in my stream. So what I like to do is kind of get a sense. Now, I kind of just lightly sketched in. His hair is white. He's got this little white, a very high forehead, thin hair up on the top, coming down this way. You can see you can see the roundness of his forehead, and beautiful white hair. Yeah. And you can see his jaw is starting to lose some of that firmness around his neck area. And of course, he's wearing a dark blue suit and a tie. He's being interviewed at the Library of Congress. So, yeah, he's dressed up. So, let's see. I said he's got a high forehead. You can kind of see some of the wrinkles on his forehead, but I don't want to put those in with my pen per se. I don't think, because I don't want them to be rough lines. So, let's see. Let me see what I want to do. His head is sort of tilted, maybe if as you're going this way, if you counted this as 90 degrees on a perpendicular plane, he might be at 100 and maybe 110 degrees going this way. His head is tilted sort of that way. So I want to get the tilt of his head in here. So let's see. And I think his jaw might come right about down in here. Right about down in there. Now, what I like about these water-soluble pens is that they're water-soluble. I make marks, but if they're not the right marks, I can go back and not entirely remove them, but sort of remove them. All right, so I can see just a little bit of this eyeglass frame here, the frames of his eyeglass. And angled heads can be a challenge to draw. His suit coat is coming just right about there on his cheek. All right. And I can already see that I need to move the frame of his glasses out a little, because this part of the frame of his glasses, you can see some of the background there. All right, so let's just kind of sketch this in. Kind of comes up and around this way. Now, am I going to get all of his forehead in there if I make that almost too big there? Let's see. Let's bring his head up this way. Yeah, maybe I will if I use this as the base of his hair and then the white hair coming up there. So, yeah. So let's continue putting in his eyeglasses here. I'm tending to want to make those too large, I think. And right there. And you can kind of see some of his eyebrow is white, but it kind of comes up this way. And his forehead comes that way, and then he's got another eyebrow that's kind of slanting down that way. You get the frame. This other glasses frame comes this way, and it's tilted at maybe a 5-degree angle. So let's see if we can get that tilt of that eyeglass in there a little. It might have to go a little higher and a little more tilty. Something like that. And let that, there we go. Maybe. And his nose, the bridge of his nose starts not too far down from the frame of the eyeglass there. And it kind of comes in this way. You can kind of see that nostril, and you can really see this nostril. So it kind of comes like that. And this is all shady in. So I'm just kind of putting in marks there. His eyes are very interesting eyes. Kind of like that. Oh, yeah, kind of got a slant on them. And I'm just kind of putting in some marks because I almost have his nose too large, but there's a lot of shading in there. So this is actually the side of his nose. So it isn't like that's all the front of his nose. So I'm going to leave it for now. And get his other eye in here. All I have to do is put a few marks in there. Now this eye will be painted in. And let's see. I think I can round his forehead out just a little. Now that eye is pretty big, so I'm going to make it a little smaller. Yeah. And right now the eyes, I don't have the eyes painted in, so they're not weird, but they're not realistic either. So we'll just put that like this. He's talking here, it looks like. Now this is the photo off of Wiki. This is not from that I know of, from his Library of Congress interview. This is a photograph from Wiki because it's in the public domain. I like to sketch off of photos that are in the public domain. Now see, you can see the side of his face coming around in here, and this will all be in shade. So, and his hair kind of comes down that way. His ear, actually, here's his eyeglasses. His top of his eyeglasses comes way above the stem. I mean, where the stem is, and his ear comes below the stem. So the top of his eyeglasses is way above his ear. It must be the tilt of his head because his ear is below his eye here. Comes just about even with the side of his eye. So his ear actually falls in here, which is very interesting to draw. Put it like that. And just kind of bring it around like this. Now, his earlobe falls below his nostril here, so it actually comes down around in there. And then he's got, like I said, his cheek is there's I don't want to say droopy, but it's lost all of his chin. You know, he's probably in his 80s. I could go on Wiki and look here. Let's see if I can get here on Wiki and go one more here. One more. In here he is one more. Whoops, come on. David McCullough is 86 years old, and a historian and an author. So let's go back to this is why I take a picture of him. So I get out as I'm talking. So now his head actually comes this way, and his white hair just kind of comes down that way. And his head actually comes like that, and he's got this very distinctive, I think this is what defines him more than anything, is the hair up here on his forehead. And it kind of comes down that way. And I'll work with that as I get to working with my watercolors. All right. So he's got all this shading here on his side of his face. And his face actually comes down like that, but his chin falls in here. Like this almost. And his shirt comes down around like that. And his suitcase, I'm going to move his suit coat. It gets hard to see, and it will probably be hard to see Now, let's go in, when I paint it, I want to look at his mouth area. his upper lips are very thin. You barely see them. And his lower lip kind of comes in like that. And like that. And then look at that white area there. And then underneath of the chin is some shading. He's got a line coming down this way. And this mouth comes down about like that. And then there's a line in there. And you can see the shadow on his face. Now let's look at his eyes a little more. His eyes kind of come like that. And you can see that same white area in there. In the same way over here. Now I don't want to put too much ink on here because I'm going to be coming in with my watercolor. Yeah, kind of comes like that. All right, let's go over here and look and see his hair. He's got some white tufts of hair coming off of his ear. Look at that ear. I wish I could expand it more. Well, I probably could if I take another picture of my picture, but let's just put in a part of his ear here. There. Now, let's do the shirt. Comes down, and it actually comes down like this. He's got a little bit of a it's interesting how his collar kind of takes over there. The tie, you can actually see the button on his shirt. And then the tie falls in here like that and comes down that way. And his other collar he's got a button down collar on. Let's put the button on there. And this is all in shadow in here and comes up this way. And comes over this way. And this is all his suit coat there. Oh, I'm pretty happy with this. I am. His suit collar comes out, and then he's got the other part of his suit coat coming there. Yeah. Okay. I'm pretty happy with that sketch. Let's look at it here. Excuse me. I'm going to sneeze again. No, I'm not. Yeah. We don't need chat on. There's nobody in here but me. Oh. Okay. I'm pretty happy with that for the base drawing. So let's go back. Let's go back to my picture. My phone's not cooperating with me. Let's go back to my photograph here. And bring it back down. I want to put that teal in the background. I'm going to do that first and maybe see what I can do with the face. Now, watercolor. I don't know. Sending this to me with using watercolor. I'm going to use this smaller brush for the detail if I can, maybe of his glasses. But let's see, watercolor brushes. I think I put them away because I tend to, if I don't put them away, I tend to use them for crafty stuff. Watercolor brush. I don't want to use that one. Do I want to use this one? I might use that one. Let's see what else I have here. I need to sort out all my brushes, and I need to mark what I'm keeping for watercolor and what I'm... these I think Annie V sent to me because I keep the rubber band around them. And I want something... Do I want to use that one? Just keep those out. And maybe that one. All right. So... let me see. I want to go for this teal background first. And let's just squirt a little water on my watercolors here. I didn't think to do that, to activate them. And I'm going to go for the teal first because it's pretty much a flat color in there. And I think I'm going to use, do I want to use that brush? I think I want to use this one. And I don't need much. You don't need much. Now don't forget about his hair, Meri, underneath of the, behind his ear, right in there. So I don't want to color that in. No, we want more than that. We want it darker. Now I use my watercolors as to sketch and illustrate, I think, more than to actually do a watercolor painting. I'm not much of a watercolorist as far as creating beautiful pictures. I mean, I like to sketch with them. Sometimes I end up with beautiful pictures, though. I want a little bit of a darker tone, so I might grab a little of this blue one in here too, just to give it some dark tones in there. I got my brushes. But then his blue is also going to fall in, and I need more water on that blue. Water there. And be sure if you activate your watercolors not to put the lid on it when you're done. Yeah, we'll just. So I like to use my watercolors as a sketch tool, a sketch medium. Now, she also sent me, Petals was so generous. She sent me this small set here. Yay. And I'm not done yet. She also sent me these, which I keep in here. So let's see if I always have a hard time getting this box open. How does this box open? Not there. Here. She sent me these, which are in little tubes. I'm going to set these aside. Set these. I don't think I'm going to be using those, but let's see what we have here. Oh, look. See, I've got my darker tones here. Let's activate these. Let's activate these. And she wrote a note in here. Meri, I was gifted a small set of Daniel Smith, Winsor & Newton, and she taped this note in here, but I like to use my pans as, my lid pans as palettes. I'm going to take your note out and put it in my art journal. Let's get this blue off. If I can, I might need to use a little help here. Oh, come on. There we go. I'm getting she taped that note in there. And I like her note, but I'm going to put it in my art journal. And I like to use the lid of my watercolors as a palette. Because if you put them on something like this, you can reactivate that. And so I don't waste any. Yeah. But I also don't want blue. Get this yummy glue spot off of it. Yeah, come on. Yeah. Let's see what I have here. Those are my paper towels. Where'd they run off to? They're never there when I want them. I put it behind my chair. I should always check behind my chair first. Certainly. Yes. I should have a special place for them, and I do, but I never put them back in my special place. Let's get this cleaned off. It's being stubborn over here. I'm not quitting until I get it cleaned. Maybe my palette knife might help me. It needs to get out of that water anyway. That glue is on there. Go, there's that. There's a little spot in here yet. There we go. Swipe this out so I don't get alcohol in my watercolor. Thank you, petals. This will go in my art journal. All right. Back to my watercolor. That gave this some time to activate here. And I didn't swatch these. She actually swatched them for me. But I have to tell you, I'm not much of a swatcher. I always kind of test. Oh, yeah, that's what I want. You know? And my brush is really wet because I swatched in. I activated those quite a bit. There we go. Ooh, that's pretty. And as I said, I'm more of a illustrative with my watercolors and actually trying to do a painting per se. I'm going to lift this. It's wet. It's all wet. Okay, and while I'm doing that, you know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to use one of these cards. And I do this when I'm out urban sketching as a wipe off. Why waste that color on your brush? I don't understand. Now, all we have for the flesh tones, we've got some yellow ochres here. And I'm going to use a little bit of that, I think. And I am going to mix this. A little bit of the yellow ochre. And a little bit of this kind of a reddish tan, which I got too much on my brush. Put a little bit in there. Now here's where I wish I had my whites. But we're going to go on to this side of his face first. We're going to do this shadow in here. And I'm just going to kind of just bring my brush down. And that may be even too much. You see here? And you can really see the yellow there, can't you? Let's lift. So let's go in with some of this darker color here. I'm going to let that ink, my water-soluble ink, define the shadows. Maybe some of the shadow in behind his ear here. And bring it up into here. And he's got a, now I'm getting that yellow ochre again. Now see, I got to get it off my brush, but I don't want too much of it off my brush. You don't need a whole lot. You just don't need a whole lot. And in fact, sometimes I like to just, well, let's do it here. Just put a puddle of water in my tan. I'll put that back up here. You probably won't see it up there, but, and of course my puddle of water moved. But sometimes I like to get a very, very light wash. And it's almost so light that you can't You can't see it. You see now, it's activating that ink, so I've got to lift. Yeah. This is really where I wish I had my white, because the only way I can get the skin tones that I want really is to use a white. And this part of his face is all in shadow. His nose is in some shadow here. And of course, underneath of his eye, and his face kind of has, let's see if I can kind of draw the lines on his forehead. And he's got a white space up in there where the light is hitting here, the light's hitting here, but he's got some shadow under there. Keep my swatch card. I don't need all those brushes. Keep my swatch card close by. I want to learn to use this swatch card more. Now let's dip my brush in this water up here. And let's see if I just can't move some of these tones. Because I don't want his face to be white, but I don't want it to be I don't want it to be dark either. And I actually went out and covered up that white. Yeah, he needs more shadow in there. Now, for his eyes, I think I will go to this little brush here, little detail brush, dip it in the water, get the bristles wet. And let's work on the eyeglasses here. There's actually a shadow underneath, and this is all in shadow. He's kind of got a pretty blue eyes, and these are more of a green, but maybe I can. And the inside of his mouth. Oh, this, I think this is black. Here. You just need a touch. I mean, there's so much pigment in here on these that you just don't need a lot. Now, I'm going to blot his eyes because there's a lot of water on it, and I don't need that much water. I want more pigment than water. And let's go for his lips are actually, you can see the redness of them, but they're kind of a darker red. Yeah. Not a lipstick red, kind of a brownish red. So let's grab some of this brown. And of course I took the black out of the mouth area when I did that. softer brush. Now I don't have a white. I don't have a white, so I'm gonna go in here with my black and just add a lot of water. Is that a blue black? That's probably a Payne's gray black, which is okay, but I want a lot of this water. I want it very light, which brings out the blue. But we're gonna add some tones in his hair here. See, this needs more color in his chin area here now. And of course, I've got it very his nose. This nostril is very dark in here. You can see just a little bit of that one. I don't like it being so white that it looks almost ghost-like, because he does have color in his face. Let's get rid of that darkness in there. Okay. So you add so much color in his face that it makes his hair look white. And you can even add more by using this darker color contrast to his hair. Brings out the white on the hair when you make the darker background. Now, most artists do not, when they do a watercolor, they do not put a fixative on it. But if I send this through now what blue do I want? I guess I'm back to using this blue. Very light. If I send it through the mail, I think I want a fixative on it because I don't want it to get messy. And you can almost bring that blue up into the shadow of his head here. And into the shadow of his eyes. Underneath of his eyebrows. That will bring out the white of his eyes. And into the ear in here. Maybe a little bit in there, a little bit in here yet too. Down his face there. Just a touch of that reddish area in here. Touch of red tones in here. So we don't want these defined lines. We want the color, but we want the shadow. But we really don't want the defined lines. Unless, and that's why I did not want to use as much ink pen in here. Now his eyes are actually much softer than what I have. His eyes are much softer. Let's soften up his eye area here. And there. He's got shadow coming down in here. Almost used all my red tones there. Let's use some more of this blue in here. What colors these are? What color is that? And that purple color. Reddish color. Just testing out the different tones of blue here. Ooh, that's the black. And almost put black around in there. Let's tone it down a little. Bring it down this way. Pull it out. Black around in there. Now, let's look at his tie. I have to say, I like that blue. Let's make his tie with some of this color in it. Darker blue tones here, red tones. Around his neck and in here. Around his eye area. And his nose area. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with him. More of a reddish brown in there. I don't like that black mark there, but I don't know if I can get rid of it. So I might just have. Sometimes you can lift that. Sometimes you can correct it if you have a white. Let's just see if I can keep working this out. Just kind of just keep brushing it. I'm not rubbing it, I'm just brushing it. And I don't know if it's gonna lift. Let's go back in with it. Brownish red here. Maybe I can work it in with this lip a little. And his lip is not, it's not red. I got a lot of red on my brush. See what I do here? See, don't waste your pigment, even if it's just a smidge. Don't waste it. Let's see, I want to add a little darker to that. His lips are, they're not red, they're kind of a, there. I can do that same color in his eye area. Here, just a touch. And his eyes are a prettier blue than what I have. And I think I can just take some of that blue. And I want to work it around his forehead. And let's get in with my little teeny detail brush. I want to work in some of these. Not a whole lot, just a few. Because the lines, you don't want the lines to look too predominant. Give it a little shading. Maybe some shading underneath the red. Sometimes when I should really have me a Q-tip. Let's get a little of that here again. Lift it. And I don't really like this, how harsh that chin line is. But that's kind of how I defined it when I he's got a line going that way. But again, I don't want it defined too harsh. I think that's a shadow off of his eyeglasses there. All right. I don't think I want to mess this up too much more. Let's put some defining areas around his hair here. I think I'm pretty happy with that. I do. Let's mix that with that. In here. I really need my larger brush for that. Oops. Yeah, I think that did it for me. Some of that greenish teal down into his jacket just because I want to. This one a little bit more shade. And I think I'm happy with it. I do think I'm happy with it. Maybe just a little shadowing in here. And actually you can kind of see his head goes back, the flesh tone of his head. I don't know, it might be too late to try that. Kind of goes back into there. Yeah. It might be too late to do that. I can just kind of add some shadow like that, kind of bring it down. Alrighty, I'm going to call this done. I will probably put a fixative on this, a real light fixative. Let's dry it off. Move my phone. I turn my phone off. See what I have left in my lids here? I'm going to let this just dry and I'll be able to pick that pigment up and you'll be surprised. It's just the right, sometimes it's just what you need. I'm drying it because I want to turn it over. Now, look at this swatch card. I'm saving that. That'll become a part of a postcard that maybe I'll do at the end of the week, maybe. Maybe I'll do some sort of a design on it. Don't waste your pigment. Especially when they were gifted to you. And I have some splatters on the back, which is okay. And what I want to do is I want to test out these gifted Posca gold pens. Let's see. How am I going to get into them? I guess I just have to cut, don't I? Okay, we're going to give it a gold border. How long have I been going? I've almost been going an hour, but I opened Happy Mail. Yeah. Can I get these open? That's the story. Where is my palette knife? Where is my palette knife? There we go. Palette knife. All right. I don't know if you're supposed to shake these or not, but I shook it. Let's get it primed. Small tip on there. Here it comes. Oh, yeah. Let's do this. Thank you for the gift. I'm thinking these came from Suzanne Hale. So I'm going to thank her, and if that was the wrong person, let me know. Let me know who to thank. Oh, I'm loving it. I am loving it. So we'll gold paint down in the corner there. Isn't this fun? I tell you, spend time in your art room if you have it. And if you don't have it, if you don't have the time to spend in your art room, take you a little doodle book. Make you a little book and just snitch 5 or 10 minutes and just look around you, and you might see a laundry basket or a dirty dish or something that needs to be done. Just do a rough sketch of it. Now, what I want to do is I want to take this dark, I'm not quite done yet. I want to take this dark blue here. Let's get my brush wet. And I want to go around the border. Just to kind of set off that gold. I listened to an interview this morning, and I'll put a link to it, at the Library of Congress, Library of Congress was interviewing David McCullough. Interesting. Author and historian. I want to read more of his books. I love history. And he said something very interesting, that history needs to be taught more in our schools, and it needs to be taught as a story. History needs to be a story, not a bunch of facts. And I think that's where we got off. And I think that's one reason why I'm so opposed to the grading system in our schools. I always have been. It's gotten me in trouble. But we are so concerned with getting that A, because we got to get out there in the workplace and make money, that give me the facts and nothing but the facts, ma'am. Okay, I got some, and I think we've lost a lot. Look at, I'm just dipping my brush in this extra water. Look how much pigment I have on it. Just get your brush, get that pigment off, then you can wash it out. All right, now the last thing I have to do is sign it, and I'm going to sign it with my Sharpie, I think. I'm going to sign it right over this white button. And today is 9/1/19. 9119. 9119. All right, so I'm going to flip it over. I think that's pretty dry. I'm going to flip it over. And I'm not going to put the gold border on it, but I do need a border. So I think what I'll put on it, maybe with a white or black border here. And I think I'm going to try to send this postcard to myself. Mm-hmm. So let's write. What do I want to write on this? Oh, I'm really liking that. I'm really liking that. Very, very talented, Meri. Oh, Meri, shame on you. Oh, let's see. Let's draw a line with mine. Where's my other pen plus here? Let's draw a line here. Let's just write postcard here. Let's draw a line for the address line. And I'm going to send it to myself. I'm going to date it 9/1/19. Am I right, Meri? Today, I watched an interview of David, and let's make sure I'm spelling his name correct. Let's go in here and make sure I'm spelling his name correct. And McCullough. McCullough at the Library of Congress. The Library of Congress. He is a true historian, teacher, and author. And then I'm just going to sign it Meri at TheMeriAtelier. And I'm going to send this to myself. Let's see if it gets back to me. And I'll address it off camera. And there'll be a stamp here, the seashell stamp. So, how fun was that to do? How fun. It's been about an hour and 20 minutes. So, yeah, here's my swatch card. We'll keep that on top. Just keep my watercolors out of the way. They're going to need to dry. Put my scissors away. Keep my watercolor brushes. I think I'm going to put them in a separate container. There we go. Down a little. Thank you for watching. And Suzanne, if you sent me the gold Posca pins, good choice. Thank you very much. And Theresa, thank you so much for the pocket letter. I will see you on the next page. And you know what? If you have some time today, do some art. Bye, everybody.